Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Catherine Doyle, and I'm a doula, childbirth educator, and mother who has a background in and a passion for herbs. And today I'm sharing about red raspberry leaf. This is a question I get asked frequently by doula clients. When can I start drinking red raspberry leaf tea? How does it work? How will it help my labor? So I want to share a little bit about this, and hopefully it's helpful for you too. So I do just want to preface this with there's so much conflicting information out on the internet, right? You'll read so many different things about how and when to start red raspberry leaf tea. Even in the traditional midwife community, there's perspectives on starting it preconception and in the first trimester as opposed to the later trimesters, which we'll talk about. And of course, an obstetrician, right, may have a completely different perspective. All of that to say, I think it's important to sort of read the different thoughts out there, have a conversation, right, with your midwife, with a care provider that you trust, and then ultimately make a decision, probably using your intuition to some degree too, and decide what's best for you. So I just wanted to sort of start with that, and then we'll get into it. So, starting first with how does red raspberry leaf tea work in the body? In herbalism, it is considered a tonic. That means it's something that is helpful really to increase general health and wellness, is rich in vitamins and minerals, rather than something that we use to target a certain ailment, for example. And in this case, red raspberry leaf tea is rich in so many different vitamins, vitamin A, C, E, calcium, which we know is so important, especially in the second trimester as baby's bones are really forming, iron, which we know is important throughout the duration of the pregnancy. And on top of that, red raspberry leaf has a wonderful alkaloid called fragrin. And fragrin helps increase blood flow to the uterus and also helps those uterine muscles contract more effectively. So, red raspberry leaf is not necessarily going to make contractions stronger. Rather, it's going to make each contraction more effective, right? Each contraction have more of an impact in dilating your cervix and bringing baby down and out. And so when we think about when do I start drinking raspberry leaf tea, it actually does have some benefits on fertility. And some will say you can start it as early as the first trimester. Now, I tend to resonate with the perspective of Aviva Ram, who feels that although there is no evidence that it can cause or lead to miscarriage, in fact, Susan Weed, an herbalism with years and years and years of experience working with women, actually thinks it can be helpful in some cases for a threatened miscarriage. But because we do know that it can increase uterine contractility, Aviva Ram tends to recommend that women start drinking it in the second and third trimester. And her recommendation, which is one that I usually point my clients to, is to start with 1 cup in the second trimester and then build up to 1 to 2 cups in the third trimester. And as you approach your due window, or even if you pass your due window, that's when it can be helpful to make a stronger infusion of red raspberry leaf. So instead of steeping it for 5, 10, or 15 minutes, we'll let it steep overnight. But for our sort of standard recipe, it's usually nice to do about 1 or 2 teaspoons and let it steep for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Now, you can buy bags. Of course, it's really important to make sure you're getting organic raspberry leaf, but sometimes it's more economical to buy it in bulk. So Mountain Rose Herbs is a great source, or you can buy it from a local herbalist or grower in your area who's maybe even making a pregnancy blend. You can often find that at local farmers markets or at health food stores, or even finding a local seller that you trust on Etsy. And you'll often see herbs mixed in like nettle and oat straw, alfalfa, really other nutritive herbs that can be really nice for pregnancy as well. And so, if you are pregnant or expecting during the warmer months, like I was with my son who was born in August, it was really wonderful to make an iced tea out of red raspberry leaf. And it can also be helpful too to make red raspberry leaf ice cubes that you can have during your labor once your appetite fades away, as it usually does once things pick up. So, that's nice to have on hand. And of course, it can be wonderful postpartum too. So hopefully that's a helpful overview on red raspberry leaf. Generally, I think it's really universally recommended for pregnant women in the second and third trimester. It's considered very safe. There really isn't any signs of toxicity or adverse effects. The midwife Anne Fry, in her book Holistic Midwifery for Pregnancy, she thinks it's especially important for mothers who have had very long or slow labors or even postpartum hemorrhage in the past. And she recommends starting at 13 to 14 weeks, about 1 to 2 cups a day for those second, third, fourth time moms in that case. And of course, always talk with your midwife, talk with a trusted care provider, and just decide what's best for you. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave a comment or reach me on my website. Thanks for tuning in.